Alright, section 2, your business structure. Structuring your business for the best profit-centered, tax-reduced asset protection possible by C.W. Allen. So, business structure. Structuring your business for the best profit-centered, tax-reduced asset protection possible. So the little quote, success is not just the end result, but the process of achieving it as well. In fact, the degree of success in the product of our lives is in direct proportion to the degree of successes we have in the process. Success is not just the end result, but the process of achieving it as well. Yeah, you just keep going. In fact, the degree of success in the product of our lives is in direct proportion to the degree of success we have in the process. You just kind of enjoy it, Chapter 1, structure your business for the greatest advantages to you. 3 ways: sole proprietorship, general partnership, corporation. 3 ways to do business. Structure your business for the greatest advantages to you. Sole proprietorship. So there's 3 ways to do this: sole proprietorship, general partnership, corporation. 8 legal business structures: sole proprietorship, general partnership, limited partnership, corporation, C versus S corporation, the professional corporation, not-for-profit corporation, limited liability company. Chapter 2, dollars in your pockets from corporate tax savings. A corporate tax advantage, the golden tax secrets, tax advantage of incorporating your home-based business. Case studies. Chapter 3, simple steps to tax savings. How you can use the golden tax secrets to your advantage. Application of golden tax secrets to specific business situations. Advantages of fiscal year-end planning. Okay, so that was just the intro. I guess we'll keep that as chapter 1. This could be chapter 1. Or, is it? Yeah, we could do this as part of chapter 1. Chapter 1, structure your business for the greatest advantages to you. 3 ways to do business: sole proprietorship, general partnership, corporation. 8 legal business structures: sole proprietorship, general partnership, limited partnership, corporation, C versus S corporation, the professional corporation, not-for-profit corporation, limited liability company. Limited liability company. What is a corporation? What are the types of corporations? What are the advantages of incorporating? Case 1, Alexander. The trials of a sole proprietorship. The way not to run a business. Okay, so I was gonna say, how come he mentions these other ones? So this is the case study of a sole proprietorship. Meaning like kind of you're on your own. Doesn't it sound like that? Sole proprietorship, you're on your own. The way not to run a business. Alexander was an enthusiastic, brilliant young man with a tremendous desire for making and selling things. At 15, his involvement with Junior Achievement brought him recognition when he won the Most Promising Young Entrepreneur Award. He had the spirit, he had the support of his parents, and everything he touched turned a profit. He was often tempted to quit school and go into business full-time. But Alexander did the smart thing. He persisted with his education and graduated with the highest honors, not just from high school, but also from Harvard with a master's degree in business administration. Alexander continued making and selling things throughout his high school, college, and graduate school, which brought him excellent survival skills and success. He continued making and selling things throughout high school, college, and graduate school, which brought him excellent survival skills and success. The year was 1968. At age 25, Alexander had saved $50,000 and as a sole proprietor plunged it all into a promising business. After thriving 3 years, he sold the business for $400,000. That's pretty good. By the time he was 30, with a string of wise investments, Alexander was a millionaire. By the time he was 31, Alexander was flat broke after being sued for creating an unsafe product. Although it was safe when used properly, the jury opposed his pleas and awarded the plaintiff millions. Damn. The trials of a 50-50 partnership, the way not to run a business. Okay, so he didn't even say his feelings on the last one or not. He just told us. Damn. All for a fucking toy. That's insane. That's fucking. But that's by happens chance. When did you say? Some people would say that's not gonna happen to me. I made a hunky, so it's something. But that's fucked up, huh? This is delicious. Crab meat in here. Alright, so this next one is called The Trials of a 50-50 Partnership. The way not to run a business. I'm still thinking about this shit over here. Can't just go across it like that. Sole proprietorship. The way not to run a business. Alexander. But see, by the time he was 31, he went flat broke after being sued for creating an unsafe product, although it was safe when used properly. He'll be on top again though. He's only 31. That's a big loss in a 31-year-old's life. A lot of life to live. I'll start a corporation. I'm pretty sure. That's crazy. It's a crazy story. Hey, but I promise to hold my head and keep it together even when I'm at my lowest, you know? So the trials of a 50-50 partnership, the way not to run a business. Alexander was still young and ambitious. So when he recovered by selling, so this is still Alexander. He recovered by selling everything and starting over. He started out small and became impatient as the cash flowed in more slowly than he wanted it to. If only he had enough capital to expand, he could achieve beyond his cash flow problems. His father's friend offered him some advice. Get a partner with money because two can succeed faster than one. Alexander took that advice and joined with a friend who had just the right amount of money. They had known each other for 4 years. Or they'd known each other for years. It was natural as Alexander handled the manufacturing and his friend Willis handled the advertising and sales. They were a perfect match. A handshake and a smile sealed their agreement. 50-50, it worked out perfectly and the business flourished. Soon they were both drawing a 6-figure salary. All through the 80s, the business boomed. Alexander and Willis had a few differences, but for the most part, it was a good match. On January 1st, 1992, Willis was suddenly killed in an accident. There was no will and no provisions for the business. Alexander had grown very dependent on Willis. He was devastated as he realized what the full impact of losing Willis would mean to the business. Willis was survived by his wife, 5 children, 7 brothers, his mother and father. They all claimed his 50% of the partnership. Some wanted to sell, some wanted to work, some just wanted whatever they could get. Willis's wife, Wilma, had her own plan to be the sole 50% partner. Willis was survived by his wife. They all claimed his 50% of the partnership. Some wanted to sell, some wanted to work, some just wanted whatever they could get. Willis's wife, Wilma, had her own plan to be the sole 50% partner. Her plan worked. She went wild with authority and money, buying a new house and investing in real estate with money from the business. Within a year, Wilma went bankrupt. Her plan worked. I don't get it though. Wilma had her own plan to be the sole 50% partner. He's being sarcastic. Her plan worked. She went wild with authority and money, buying a new house and investing in real estate with money from the business. Within a year, Wilma went bankrupt, causing Alexander to be wiped out again. As Wilma's business partner, Alexander was jointly responsible for all her actions. The success and protection of a corporation, the way to run a business. Alexander at age 52 was forced to start over. Age 52. The success and protection of a corporation, the way to run a business. Alexander at 52 was forced to start over again. With less ambition and a disastrous business climate, the struggle was tough and he realized he wanted to give up. There had to be a lesson here. He was a genius and a great businessman, yet twice he had lost it all. Alexander had not protected his business against lawsuits, against death, against unwanted ownership. He failed to understand the one essential cornerstone of building a business structure. Incorporate first to build your business on a solid foundation. Look at some of the corporate advantages. Bring in investors as stockholders, not partners. If the president dies, the business does not have to. If the president dies, the business does not have to. Bring in investors as stockholders, not partners. If the president dies, the business does not have to. Keep control over your business. Structure your business so no one can take anything. Don't pay more taxes than necessary. Alexander incorporated his business and offered stock. This created sufficient capital to allow his business to take off instantly. Within a year, he was back on top, only this time he protected his every move. He prepared himself for any event and enjoyed the ability to pass his assets to his children and spouse without fear of loss, taxation, court, or legal costs. So his business, and he offered stock. So if you incorporate, you could offer stocks. And it's like asking people to just kind of keep it afloat, like they're paying that stock. So if it goes up, they make some money. And the more, I don't know, it just sounds like it's like something keeping you afloat. It's not like a pyramid. It's more of like I feel like it's something keeping you afloat. You feel me? Key points. Learn how the rich structure their business. Learn how you can structure your business as the rich do. Incorporate your business to get maximum benefits. Again, is it just a piece of paper of me being or is it a way of life? Is it a way that I spend my money? Is it a way? I don't know. How do I incorporate? How do I incorporate? Understand the corporate benefits available to you. Okay, key points. Learn how the rich structure their businesses. Learn how the rich structure their businesses. Learn how you can structure your business as the rich do. Learn how you can structure your business as the rich do. I think there's rich people that are willing to help you, low-key. Incorporate your business to get maximum benefits. Understand the corporate benefits available to you. Slash your taxes by 70%. Tax-deductible cars. Tax-deductible educational expenses. Understand the corporate benefits available to you. So tax-deductible cars, you slash your taxes by 70%. Tax-deductible educational expenses. Tax-deductible life, health, and automobile insurance. Tax-deductible trips. Tax-deductible food. Tax-deductible housing. Protect your personal and business assets. Don't pay probate costs. Don't pay inheritance taxes. Structure your financial affairs for wealth. Structure your financial affairs for wealth, not poverty. You simply need to learn how the rich get rich and do the same thing. What works for the rich will work for you too. 8 legal business structures. 1. The sole proprietorship. When you run your business as a sole proprietorship, you are the business. In essence, you as the owner of that business and your business are one and the same. Your assets are the business assets, and the business assets are your assets. The same applies for liabilities. Your debts and the business debts are one and the same. If your business is sued, it is the same as if you are sued. Conversely, if you are sued personally, your business is sued. Everything you own and everything your business owns are up for grabs in a lawsuit. The same applies regarding the IRS. You file one tax return because all the income is yours. You pay self-employment taxes, 15.3% at the bottom of Schedule C, before any deductions. You pay self-employment taxes before any deductions. This is true whether you use your name or a business name. Whether you use a DBA, you and your business are still one. And I feel like if you're just not educated, you would even tell your kids, get a DBA, man. Get a DBA. Because me starting the plumbing, I wasn't really starting a plumbing business. I don't feel like I ever really like put my heart into it. Where I can say I tried, you know. I don't want to do me like that, you know. But I was just kind of doing it, you know, just to like a job. I was better off working at McDonald's around females or something than fucking being in a field construction, you know. But my stepdad told me, get a DBA, doing business as, but he should have been saying, get a corporation. 2, the general partnership. When you enter into an agreement, verbal or written, with another party to do business together, you are acting in partnership with one another. That's general partnership. All is operated as if it were one person. This is like a sole proprietorship, except with twice the exposure. Each is responsible. Oh yeah, because now you're kind of putting a lot on his shoulders that you're depending a lot on that person to wake up the next day, you know. This is like a sole proprietorship. Except with twice the exposure. Each is responsible for everything each of you owe, do, and have done. You have joint and several liability with your partners. It's like a marriage. This means you're completely liable for everything, whether you are involved or not. That is a general partnership. Okay, so this is going to be a long chapter, no worries. We got limited partnerships, LPs. So it's general partnerships, GPs. No, it's general partnership, and then LPs are limited partnerships. LPs are pass-through entities that have the same basic characteristics as a general partnership. So limited partnerships are pass-through entities that have the same basic characteristics as a general partnership, except that the LP has limited partners who typically have neither liability for business activities. The LPs has limited partners who typically have neither liability for business activities nor management responsibilities. These limited partners are liable or at risk for only the amount they have invested in the LP. The general partner, having responsibility and full liability for the activities of the partnership, provides full direction and management of the LP. The limited liability partnership, LLP, the limited liability partnership is designed to offer an existing professional partnership, such as an engineering firm, the ability to be transformed to an LLP without the need to dissolve an existing partnership. 34. The corporation. A corporation is a separate legal entity governed by a state law. A separate legal entity. It operates through its bylaws as well as through resolutions written and adopted by the shareholders and directors. It must not function as the alter ego of its stockholders. In other words, you must remain separate from your corporation. The chart on page 28 graphically illustrates the separation between you as founder and stockholder, owner of the corporation, and the corporation itself. So it illustrates the separation between you as the founder and stockholder / owner of the corporation. So the separation from me and the corporation itself. I'm the founder, I'm a stockholder, and I'm the owner of the corporation. But I'm separate from the corporation itself. Corporate formalities, the flow of activity and paperwork. Corporate formalities, the flow of activity and paperwork must be followed to maintain a corporation as a separate legal entity. The state of incorporation has its own statutes, rules, and regulations from which a corporation must operate. Okay, now we're kind of getting somewhere. V-C versus S corporation. What corporation structure should you consider for your wealth building advantage? Although both C and S corporations offer ease of ownership transfer and tremendous liability protection to shareholders, directors, and officers, the S corporation is considerably different in its accounting structure and deduction capability. The S corporation, like the LP and the LLC, is a flow-through entity, meaning the net income or loss flows through to the shareholders and is taxed or deducted on the individual returns. Meaning the net income or loss flows through the shareholders and is taxed or deducted when it returns. The S corporation is organized by creating a C corporation and applying for the S election with the IRS. This election occurs by shareholders signing and submitting IRS Form 2553 in year preceding the target year or within so the S corporation, I feel like that's like a higher class. Like you would probably want to start a corporation first, because this is saying you need some shareholders, because you would have to create a C corporation first and applying so by creating a C corporation and then applying for the S election with the IRS. This election occurs by shareholders signing and submitting IRS Form 2553 in the year preceding the target year within 2.5 months after the start of the target year. Most of the advantages of the S corporation were deleted in the 1986. Most of the advantages of the S corporation were deleted in the 1986 Tax Revision Act. Since that time, change has been slow for professionals to acknowledge that the S corporation no longer can serve as the overall ideal business entity. Most of the advantages of the S. Since that time, change has been slow for professionals to acknowledge that the S corporation no longer can serve as the overall ideal business entity. While the C, okay, so what is he saying? Don't use the S corporation now? Transformation is the ability and willingness to live beyond your form. Transformation is the ability and willingness to live beyond your form. Wayne Dyer, I don't know who that is. Sounds like a crazy man. While the C corporation is essentially the premier wealth-building entity in the United States. While the C corporation is essentially the premier wealth-building entity in the United States for the vast majority of business enterprise, the S corporation does prove to be superior in 3 primary ways. 1. The S corporation offers advantages and alternative to the professional service corporation. As outlined below, the PSC has a rather high flat tax. The PSC has a rather high flat tax, and by using the S election, individuals can disperse income to a lower personal rate. 2. As business activity expands for individuals, the need for multiple corporation strategy is often considered. In some circumstances, this strategy may need to avoid a controlled group. This strategy may need to avoid a controlled group ruling by the IRS, and therefore create an S corporation as an alternative. This strategy may need to avoid a controlled group ruling by the IRS, and therefore create an S corporation as an alternative. The third way offers relief to the tax burden of the W-2 wage earners. The operations. These losses can be applied toward the earnings of the shareholders. As described later in this chapter under the home-based business topic, the personal tax savings involved will cause anyone to sit up and take note. Because situations vary, consult your strategy advisor to determine your best interests. See, you need a strategy advisor, someone who also owns shit. So why would you want to talk to somebody who doesn't know shit? book got me arrogant for some reason. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm just totally kidding, guys. Not arrogant. I'm talking to you guys. I'm not trying to be arrogant. But I need some bagel.